What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Marie Fredriksson, and we're going back to the Greatest Hits compilation, 1984 to 2000. Once again, shout out to Erik for sending this to me and allowing us to go through it. And also, big shout out to Michaela, who sent me a package recently featuring a number of CDs, including Roxette's Charm School. 2010 is what it looks like. There's a first disc, which I assume is the proper album, and then a second disc, which seems to be a live performance mixed in 2010. I was really keen to see some of the pictures of both Per and Marie. Big shout out to them. But seriously, Michaela is greatly appreciated. You show up at a number of different deep dives and different video types on my channel, so big shout out to you. And I'm very much looking forward to going through this album once we get there, a bit down the road, obviously. But yeah, ultimately, thank you to all the people involved in the Roxette deep dive, which goes back to Yun. He was the first person to suggest that they would be good to go through. So again, big shout out to Yun, to Michaela, to Erik, to everyone who's been following this deep dive. Jeebus, Roxer for Life, all of you. Honestly, I'm going to end up not saying some people's names, and that always makes me feel like a jerk. So I apologize. But truly, I do try to read all the comments, and when I've gone through the Roxette deep dive, a number of you have been very helpful and insightful when it comes to getting a sense of the evolution of the group, the nature of the different albums, up to tourism. Obviously, we're still in the process of going through this, but you are all very much appreciated, and I'm very excited to have a physical copy of one of their albums already. So in any case, we're returning to the Greatest Hits compilation from Marie, and we're up to a tune which, according to Google Translate, and I have no doubt that there's some subtlety of meaning, some nuance of semantics that are not necessarily translated here, but according to Google Translate, the phrase that is the title of the track we're going to listen to now comes across as long as it shines opposite. So ultimately, it sounds conditional. It sounds like either someone's voluntary assent, as long as you do this, then I'm willing to come along, or some conditions out in the world, as long as this takes place, then we can expect this other thing to happen. So yeah, it sounds like there's a conditional, though the setting of that is not clear. Now obviously I won't be able to follow the themes as we listen to the tune. I look forward to hearing people's comments, but in the end, I imagine the vocals and the sonics will be able to captivate us, even for those of us who don't speak Swedish. So let's get it. This is Marie Fredriksson. The tune, at least according to Google Translate, is As Long as It Shines Opposite, and it's included on a Greatest Hits compilation 1984 to 2000. Oh, some funkiness. thanks to when I've asked that question in a number of other tunes, that's the name that's come back. Though I don't know if I'm remembering it correctly. Now obviously this is a Marie solo tune, so you know the musician she works with may or may not correspond directly to musicians that Roxette have worked with, but again, I'm curious who the guitarist was, because there was a lot of funky work in there, not just kind of that main, like real standout riff. There were some, you know, subtle guitar touches along the way that were really fantastic. The bass also had a lot of funk to it, as I said. The keyboards, though, as I was saying, had a bit more of a like smooth, like cool jazz kind of feel. So there were some different flavors in this. Sonically, again, I could not follow the lyrics, but her vocals were cool and dynamic. Like there were lines, especially like the verses, where it was very breathy and soft, like she was sort of sitting near you, kind of like whispering and explaining something to you. And then when it would do the, I think like pre-chorus, like she would take it up to another level, and it was a bit more, not necessarily forceful in the like larger spectrum of her ability and the power that she can go to, but it was a bit more robust, a bit more, you know, like loud and central, as opposed to being sort of like an intimate like part of the tune in a like softer sense. So I enjoyed the way, you know, the vocals were dynamic and the track unfolded in that regard. I look forward to people's comments once again, and I have little doubt that at the very least the way the phrase is, you know, translated into English may be at least somewhat misleading. But as I said, you know, the essence of the phrase as it was translated sounded conditional, that there's something out there that, you know, is not clear, it's a variable, it may play out one way or another, and depending on the way that happens, some other process or relationship or condition is, you know, dependent on the outcome. So yeah, let me know if it's something like that. Once again, shout out to Erik, I do appreciate it, and it's been cool to hear Marie's solo material. Once again, Jeebus has sent a great deal that we haven't started even going through yet, so looking forward to that. But yeah, ultimately, I do apologize. I know both the Marie and Roxette journeys were upset a little by the week where I was sick, and I've been trying to catch up on everything and get the tunes or the deep dives that typically occur on certain days back onto those days. So hopefully now we've got Marie back onto Monday. So Roxette reaction coming soon, I promise, probably for the session on Wednesday morning, because I don't usually get to shoot videos Monday night, so not usually new reactions on Tuesday, but definitely on Wednesday. So look forward to that. Do let me know what you think of this, and I will see you then. Peace.